Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Bia and I am incredibly passionate about makeup. I am very excited about this video, guys, because this is the first holiday makeup tutorial on my channel this year. So for the first video on this topic, I decided to go as holiday glam as I could possibly go, which basically translates to red lips and golden shimmers on my eyes. So yeah, I am very excited about today's video, but before we move on to the tutorial, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also to leave this video a like, and in case you guys want to check more work from me, I will also leave my Instagram down below. Since today we will be wearing a red lipstick, I'm going to try to keep the eyes a little bit more simple and neutral, so that in the end it's not just too much. The first eyeshadow palette that I'm going in with is the Master Matte by Makeup by Mario. This is what it looks like on the inside. Taking a 228 from Zoeva, I am applying the matte number 4, which is this very light brown, all over my crease. Now, without applying any more eyeshadow, I am going to do these circular motions to push the eyeshadow outwards towards the end of my brow. I always do this in every single makeup look that I do. Now, using the 231 brush from Zoeva, which is the Luxe Petite Crease, I am taking the matte number 8, which is a medium brown. And I'm going to start by pressing it on the outer third of my lid and slowly start building an outer V. I want to bring a little bit more depth and definition towards the end of my eye. This brush is really good when you want to blend eyeshadows but keep a ton of precision. I just really like it for the crease whenever I'm applying some darker eyeshadows and stuff. When the brush has pretty much no pigment in it, I blend this middle part so that I don't have a harsh transition in between the lighter matte eyeshadow and the darker one on my crease. I'm going in again with my 228 to make sure that the two eyeshadows blend really well together. I try to keep this motion kind of as constant as I can because I want to make sure that even though I am blending the two eyeshadows together, I am not like completely mixing them and bringing the middle brown shade way too high on my crease. Now moving on to the second palette from Makeup by Mario. This is the Master Metallics. I'm going to be using the metallic number 8, which is this very light golden shimmer on my lid, and I am using another Zoeva brush, and this is the number 238. I'm applying the shimmer on the first 2/3 of my lid. Okay guys, so since this shimmer is so light compared to the rest of the eyeshadows, I am now going to take the metallic number 7, which is this light brown metallic, and using the same brush, I am going to apply it where the matte eyeshadows meet the lightest shimmer. This will just make sure that the transition looks very smooth and, I don't know, just blends things together a lot easier. Now moving on to eyeliner, I'm going in with the 77 from Inglot. I have used this liner like countless times. It's really good. I mean, it's so pigmented, it lasts all day, and it's actually awful to try to remove. But anyways, I'm going to use this Sigma brush. This is one of their eyeliner brushes. It's the E11. I feel like I have given you this tip countless times on my channel, but when you have hooded eyes like me, when you're doing your liner, make sure that you are looking straight in the mirror and that you keep your eyes open, because when it comes to hooded eyes, the fact that the skin falls on top of the lid will make your eyeliner look very weird if you do it with your eyes closed. Because one thing, it's when you have your eyes closed, it looks very perfect, very flawless. But once you open it, you want to make sure that it looks good as well. And honestly, the eyeliner that I find the most flattering for hooded eyes is the Batman liner. I think that's what people call it. Basically, you keep your eyes open, and when you're drawing a line, you kind of skip that little step that your skin makes, and once you open it, you have like this kind of cut in here, and that just makes sure that when you're talking and you're smiling and all of that stuff, your liner looks flawless and it doesn't look way too chunky or anything on your lid. And also, the fact that you keep your eyes open during the process makes sure that the rest of the liner, like close to the lash line, is not too thick for your eye shape. That is it for the eyeliner. Now to smoke it out, we are going back to the Master Matte's eyeshadow palette from Makeup by Mario, and now we are picking the black eyeshadow, and this time I'm using a Morphe brush. This is the M213, and first I'm going to start by setting the eyeliner by pressing this black eyeshadow on top of it. Even when I'm not going for a smoky liner look, I also like to press a black eyeshadow on top of the liner just to make sure that it sets really well and that it does not transfer at all throughout the day, because I tend to have pretty oily lids, so even waterproof formulas sometimes transfer after a few hours, so this is something that I find kind of crucial for me. I cleaned the brush that I used for the shimmers, which was the 238 from Zoeva, and now I am using it to start blending this eyeliner. I'm going to start by pressing the black eyeshadow right on the edge of the liner. This will already give me a very diffused edge. I'm only going to diffuse it until half of my lash line. So guys, when it comes to the wing, I don't stick to zigzag motions like I do in here. Like after I apply the black eyeshadow on the edges, I do some zigzag motions to make sure that it's very diffused. But when it comes to the wing, I do a little bit of zigzag motions and then I start like bringing the black eyeshadow inwards. So guys, now I'm going to apply false lashes. Pray with me because these ones are pretty old. Like I need a massive restock when it comes to my false lashes. Like I am in desperate need of new lashes. If you have used like old false lashes, I clean them obviously, but still like they start losing shape and they get so hard to apply. Half of the task is complete. Let's see about the other eye. Okay guys, so to make sure that the lashes were perfectly blended together, I went in with the Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. This is the waterproof formula. That's why it's blue. And now we are ready for complexion. The primer that I'm going in with today is this one from MAC. This is the MAC Prep and Prime Natural Radiance. I love this primer because it feels very moisturizing on my skin and I love it, especially when it comes to winter time, because my skin, I think that everyone's skin overall tends to be a little bit more on the drier side. And I don't know, it just gives such a feeling of comfort to my skin. Now for foundation, I'm going in with one of my favorite foundations. This one is from MAC. This is like the classic one, the Studio Fix Fluid. And to apply it, I'm using a damp beauty blender. I already color corrected my dark circles because they were so deep and like they were so deep in here that to apply eyeshadows, I really had to color correct first because then I wouldn't be able to color correct in this area. Now for concealer, I'm going in with this one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Magic Touch Concealer, and as per usual, I will have to add a little bit of white pigment because this is a bit too dark for me. To apply it and blend it, I am using my damp beauty blender once again. I'm applying this concealer in the areas that I want to highlight as well as add a little bit of coverage. So I applied it on my under eye area, a little bit, like a tiny bit on my chin, on the bridge of my nose, and now on the bottom part of my forehead. I try to apply as little concealer as I possibly can because less is more when it comes to makeup, trust me. And honestly, with this concealer, I don't even need to worry that much because the coverage is so good that even with a light amount of product, I cover everything that I need. And I give like enough light to my face as I want. Before moving on to any powders, first I'm going to spray my face using the All-Nighter from Urban Decay. Now for powder, I'm going in with my absolute favorite powder ever, which is the Laura Mercier one. This is the translucent low setting powder. And to be honest, this video is kind of just me doing my makeup using some of my favorites, especially when it comes to complexion products. I really want to bring you guys a little bit more variety when it comes to makeup products, but to be honest, makeup is so expensive and makeup brushes as well, so until I start getting on PR lists and things like that, I feel like the variety of products will be kind of limited. As I explained in my previous video, to apply my powder I do tapping motions. If you want to see how you can do your complexion and make it look absolutely flawless and basically correct most of the mistakes that people make when doing the complexions that end up with them looking cakey or too powdery or the makeup creasing and stuff, just check out my makeup for beginners video because I spill all the tea in that video. Like I am telling you guys, I tell you the tips and tricks that I've been using, things that I figured out from experience, like everything. You will leave that video doing your makeup like a pro, and I'm not even kidding. I am still going to bake, but first I'm going to apply bronzer, and the one that I'm going in with is the one that I use the most, which is the Hoola bronzer from Benefit, and I am going to use this Morphe Deluxe brush to apply it. I actually have been using my Japanese brush, which I'm about to show you next, to apply the bronzer on the perimeter of my forehead, because I find this brush to be almost a little bit too precise for such a large area, so I kind of switch in between those two brushes. And sometimes I even go in with the Japanese just to make sure that everything is very diffused and stuff after applying with this one. I try to keep the bronzer pretty much on my cheekbone. I also bring it to the jawline. Now going in with my Japanese brush, which is this one right here. It's a lot fluffier and larger than this one, as you can see. I try to go in with as little bronzer at a time as possible, because if you go in with a lot of product at once, it's very hard to blend it out, trust me. And now I'm just going in with the same brush just to make sure that everything looks very diffused. Okay, so I have another two places in which I like to apply my bronzer. For one of them, I like to use this Alex brush from Morphe that we were just using and pick a little bit of bronzer in this edge right here and then apply below my lower lip. I just feel like this makes the world of a difference because it brings some more shadow to the center of my face, makes my lips look a little bit more full. The other area is the sides of my nose. Guys, I do not really try to shape my nose that often, but if I don't bring some bronzer to this part, it just makes my face look very pale in the center, like it's lacking some shadow. So I always go in with some bronzer. And for that, I'm using this angled brush from Morphe. This is another deluxe brush. And I pick a little bit of bronzer, a very light amount of bronzer, and I do like these swiping motions just to bring some shadow. As you can see, I don't apply a lot of product, I barely apply any, but it makes some difference. Okay guys, I figured like this is such a full glam look. I'm still going in with a little bit of bronzer to shape my nose a little bit. So I am picking this brush. Guys, this was my first eyeshadow brush. And I am going to apply a little bit of bronzer in here, like to connect the bronzer that I have on my nose with my brows. And now I'm going to use this tiny brush to kind of help shape my nose a little bit. Okay, so now off to baking. As you can see, I use the baking to bring a little bit of light to certain areas of my nose. I love using baking for that as well. And it also helps me control the excessive oil that I have in this area. But now moving on to the under eye area. This one I always have to bake, otherwise it creases. Doesn't matter what I do, but it definitely creases. First, I'm going in with my beauty blender to make sure that I blend any creases. And now I apply basically a ton of powder. I'm also going to bake below my bronzer on my cheekbone because this will also help me shape my face a little bit more. I've got so many ideas for future holiday glam videos, but if you guys want to see a specific kind of look, don't forget to leave it in the comment section down below because I do read every single comment. So if you guys have any wishes when it comes to my next videos, just let me know. So guys, I left the baking in here for a few minutes and now it's time to remove it. And I'm just going to use that powder brush that I used before to swipe it off. It might look a little bit powdery right now, but don't worry because once we spray some all-nighter on this face, it will just look absolutely flawless. Now that the loose powder part is complete, I am going to brush my eyebrows a little bit and apply some clear brow gel just to make sure that they are brought back to life. I always fill them in before my videos, except for my previous video in which I was trying to show you everything. But most of the times, like 99% of the times, I try to fill them in before I start filming because they are not even, they give me a lot of work. And I honestly don't find it very interesting to be constantly filming. I completely forgot to say, but this is the Brow Wiz from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And now I'm going in with another Anastasia Beverly Hills products. This is the Clear Brow Gel. I always use this on my brows because my brows are very wild. So they need something to make sure that they are held in place. Okay, so now for blush, I'm going in with the NARS Orgasm one. I love this one, and I just honestly love the fact that it has a gold reflect to it. I just feel like it looks super delicate and gorgeous, and overall, you guys know how much I love glowy skin, so this is the perfect product to do so. To apply this blush, I am using the 127, which is the Luxe Sheer Cheek from Zoeva. I love this brush for blush, it's honestly the best. Honestly, you guys have noticed by now how much I love Zoeva brushes. Like, the quality of the brushes is so good. And the fact that the brushes are not even that expensive, I feel like they are kind of half of the price of high-end brushes and they perform just as well, if not even better. Okay, now I'm going to spray my face a little bit more because I am looking way too powdery. I need to melt this whole thing. it is way too cold for me to be applying a cold spray on my body. Now for highlighter, since I want to blind people, I'm going in with the Hyper Real Glow palette from MAC and this brush from Morphe. This is another one of their deluxe brushes, and I'm going in with the first shade of this palette. I'm going to apply it on the highest points of my face, especially here, obviously. Now moving on to a pencil brush. This one is from the Shade and Light brush from Quem. I am going to apply the highlighter on my inner corner, the brow bone, and also the bridge of my nose, as well as the tip of my nose. Now moving on to the part of this video which I was the most excited about, to be completely honest with you guys, the lips. So first I'm going to line my lips using a red pencil because the lipstick doesn't give you a lot of precision when it comes to the edges of your lips, so lining them really helps, especially when you are wearing such bright colors. It's very easy to notice if you are not that precise, so I always go in with a pencil first. I mean, I always do this with any shade of lipstick, but when it comes to red lipstick, I just find it to be key. The red lip pencil that I'm going in with is this one from Disse Berenice. This is in the shade Vermetis. This is not a very vivid red, this is kind of a hot pink, I think. Now for lipstick, I'm going in with this one from Sephora. This is the cream lip stain in the shade 01. I already got started doing this because I wanted to see if this was like the perfect red shade. Guys, Sephora lipsticks are so affordable and they are hella pigmented. And honestly, they are so comfortable to use. It's just amazing. I completely forgot about my lower lash line. I only noticed it now because I was retouching my mascara. So now I am taking this Zoeva brush. This is the 227, which is a very large blending brush, but it's tapered. I love using it for the lower lash line. And I am applying the first matte eyeshadow that we use, which is the matte number 4, all over this part. Basically, I'm just applying the same eyeshadows as I did in the upper part of my eye. Now picking the 231 from Zoeva, which is the Luxe Petite Crease. I am picking some of the second matte eyeshadow that we use, which was the matte number 8, and I am applying it in the outer half of my lower lash line. To finish off the lower lash line, I'm just going to apply a brown pencil on my lower waterline. This one is the one that I always use. It's the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil from Urban Decay, and the shade is called Whiskey. I only apply the pencil in the outer part. I did not bring it until my inner corner because that will end up just closing my eyes too much. Now, just some mascara. Guys, this mascara from L'Oreal is intense. Now I am going off camera to do my hair and I will be right back. So yeah guys, that is it for this tutorial. I hope you will like this video and this makeup look, and I hope that you can feel the holiday vibes that it gives, because right now I am ready for Christmas. But as I mentioned previously, don't forget to also check this video right here. This is my makeup for beginners video, and guys, trust me when I say that it's packed with advice and with tips and tricks that will take your makeup to the next level. And also, it will teach you how to fix most of the mistakes that beginners make while doing their makeup. For instance, when it comes to concealer creasing, looking too cakey and powdery, makeup transferring to the clothes, you know, all of that not so good stuff. So yeah, don't forget to check it out, and also to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!